Good evening, and welcome to the Kingsport Board of Mayor and Aldermen, the business meeting for July 21st. I'm calling this meeting to order, and we will stand for the pledge led by Jessica McMurray, followed by prayer by Minister Paul Becker.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please pray with me. Lord, you have told us what you require of us: to do justice, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with you, our God. So, Lord, we recognize that we cannot do any of this in our own strength. We are dependent upon you for breath and life, for working together as neighbors, as leaders in this community that is so richly blessed by your hand. So we do pray that we would be able to see what justice is, and what mercy looks like, and enact these things in our daily relationships with one another. Give our mayor and the aldermen wisdom from above. Lord, you said if anyone lacks wisdom, let him ask and it be given. So we ask for wisdom and discernment, for understanding, for harmony in our community. It may continue to be the best place to raise a family, to build a business, to love and serve you by loving our neighbor. We ask these things through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. You may be seated. Thank you, Pastor Becker.
Recording in progress.
Mr. Recorder, please call the roll.
Mayor Montgomery.
Here.
Vice Mayor Duncan.
Here.
Alderman Baker.
Here.
Alderman Cooper.
Here.
Alderman George.
Here.
Alderman Mays.
Here.
Alderman Phillips.
Here.
Thank you. All 7 board members are present in the meeting, 1 electronically. Mr. City Manager.
All right, Mayor, we have no recognitions or presentations on the agenda, so we move into section 6 for public comment.
Thank you. This is our public comment. This is a point in our meeting where citizens have the opportunity to address the board through public comment. Citizens may comment on any item on the agenda for the meeting, as well as any matter relevant to the city government. As a member of the board is participating tonight electronically, public notice was given that citizens could either submit written comments electronically or participate electronically. The Deputy City Recorder has advised me that no written comments were submitted, nor has anyone registered to participate electronically. 30 minutes has been allocated for public comment. All speakers are limited to 5 minutes for the comments. The City Recorder, which is seated to your left and my right, is the timekeeper, and he will tell you when your 5 minutes expires. You are encouraged to keep your comments non-personal in nature and focus upon the agenda items and matters germane to the jurisdiction of the board. Please fill out the register that's there at the podium when you come to speak. Separate from this public comment session, we do have another public comment section that will be part of the public hearing. And if you are here tonight for the public hearing only, we advise you to wait till that time comes to speak, because you'll be closer to the agenda item that's there. So is anyone here tonight coming speaking to us on any topic that they want to talk to us about? Okay, seeing no one moving, I'll say, Mr. City Manager, we'll close this section out. First item.
All right, first item is approval of minutes. First from the work.
Just a minute.
Wait, here comes.
We got a gentleman right here.
Sorry, I wasn't quick enough there.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
This is regarding item number 1 on the public hearing section. Are you there yet? Or am I in the wrong place?
We're about to go there, but
Okay.
so if you want to speak now or
Yes, that'd be fine if I could.
Okay, sure.
My name is Mark McFall. I'm an attorney and I have my office in Johnson City. I represent Walter and Marie Taylor and the lady to my right, Mrs.
Let me interrupt
Gay
you.
Bryant.
Let me interrupt you for a second, if you don't mind. So we'll start each time over. When anyone comes tonight to the podium, please do not expect us to comment. We're here to listen. This is public comment. It's for you to make public comment, and we listen. So thank you. Sorry about that.
No problem. As I said, I represent Walter and Marie Taylor and Gay Bryant. They live next door to each other on Centenary Road. Their property backs up to the parcel that is proposed to be rezoned for further operations for a rock quarry. And their immediate concern is that for, well, the Taylors at least, for over 30 years, have kept nests for purple martins. They're a migratory bird. They come up to Tennessee every year and nest. And this photograph is the Taylors, or one of the Taylors at least. This is how they nest. There's a large pole. This thing is raised up and down, and these are kind of gourd-shaped things that they nest in. They nest, they hatchlings, they have, little ones, and then they come back the next year. Mrs. Bryant has two similar items here that have the gourds that the birds nest in. Now, the other picture here has got some data on it. The lower 16 gourds had 77 eggs and 2 hatchlings, 162 eggs and 32 gourds total. This was last year.
Yes.
This was for last year. And this depicts kind of the inside of these gourds where they nest. And these are their little hatchlings. They bring all that and they nest in there. Now these purple martins are protected under both federal and Tennessee law. The migratory bird, well, it's listed birds protected by the Migratory Bird Treaty Act. That's the federal act that protects them. And additionally, Tennessee has a statute, Tennessee Code Annotated 70-4-101, that provides that wildlife, including these migratory birds, cannot be, of course, taken or killed, but it's unlawful to disturb, mutilate, destroy, or otherwise bother these nesting that the birds do. And this quarry operation with the vibration, I know there will be blasting in this area, dust and so forth, is going to disturb the nesting, and they'll most likely disappear. I've consulted with a mining engineer, and he believes there are things that could possibly be done to mitigate this, but we don't believe that what's proposed as far as the buffer around the proposed rezoned parcel is going to be sufficient. So we just want the board to take this migratory bird issue into account. These people have protected these birds for 20 and 30 years, and they don't want to see them sent off. Mr. Taylor and his wife moved into their house in the late 60s. They've been there all this time and doing this. And Mrs. Bryant and her deceased husband also did this. And my time is up, and I appreciate your time, and thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Again, we're about to begin our public hearing for item 1. So is anyone here to speak on any other item than that? City Manager.
All right, we'll move on to the approval of minutes. First, from the work session on June 15th, 2026, and the business meeting on June 16th, 2026. We'd ask that you approve these minutes as submitted.
Thank you. You have before you June 15 minutes and June 16 minutes, and I'm asking that Mr. Recorder, let's kindly have a motion.
I make a motion.
Make a motion to accept the minutes, or a second? Second, thank you. Mr. Recorder, would you call the roll, please?
Alderman Baker.
Go ahead.
Alderman Cooper.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan.
Aye.
Alderman George.
Aye.
Alderman Mays.
Aye.
Alderman Phillips.
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. The minutes are approved, 6-0. Mr. City Manager.
All right, first item.
Mayor, just checking, did you record my vote?
No, I did not, because you did not respond.
I responded aye, so not sure if there's a technical difficulty or not.
Okay, thank you. 7-0.
All right, first item, conduct a public hearing in consideration of an ordinance to amend zoning of tax map 94, parcel 17, located along Airport Parkway from the MX Mixed-Use District to M2 General Manufacturing District. Ken Weems will walk us through the presentation ahead of the public hearing. Ken?
Thank you so much. So this is the Airport Parkway rezoning, and the first map we'll look at is our vicinity map. You can see the rezoning site there in the middle and in red to the south of it, Airport Parkway, the Northeast Tennessee Business Park, a little corner of the airport, the single-family subdivision at the base of the rezoning site, the Holston Elementary, Centenary Road, and of course the existing quarry. Zooming in just a little bit, this is an owner-requested rezoning of approximately 49 acres from the city MX zone to the city M2 zone. They left a 100-foot strip of their property out of the rezoning site, and you can see that all the way around this edge right here. It's a 100-foot buffer they left out of the rezoning consideration, and it's meant to be a buffer for their neighboring property owners. Of course, also on this map, you can see the very large city MX zone to the south. Taking a look at the county zoning, you can see the rezoning sites right there in the middle of the map, and you can see in the yellow parcels the Airport Acres subdivision adjacent to it. You can see the larger green agricultural parcels are all county agricultural zone parcels. And the gray parcels are on the right side of Airport Parkway. They're all the quarry. The two at the very top were rezoned about 10 years ago by the county commission for the last quarry rezoning. It's important to take a look at the contours for this site. If you've never walked through the rezoning area, it's the terrain is absolutely up and down, and you can see on this 10-foot contour map exactly what's going on if you haven't been able to get to the site. Taking a look at the future land use plan designation for the area, it's coded as manufacturing and warehousing, which mining is listed as an appropriate use in that place type. The arrow on the screen here is in the very middle is actually pointing to the rezoning site, and you can see that designation on the future land use plan there. It was designated manufacturing and warehousing due to the existing longtime quarry there and all the other manufacturing uses in that MX zone part of the city. The M2 uses are on the screen before you. Of course, the ones that the quarry would want, what they would be doing would be the rock or stone crushing as far as quarry use on the rezoning side, as far as what the principal M2 use would be. As far as the standards of review, they discuss the adverse terrain of the site. They discuss the project as an expansion of the existing quarry. And they also describe the land use conformance aspect of the proposal. Martin Marietta has requested that a late supplement to their application be provided to the board detailing their voluntary commitments as it relates to their anticipated uses of the site. And you can see that supplemental information right here on the screen. There's several points and a total of 3 slides to take a look at. We did receive this information this afternoon, which is why it's late filed. We've had a tremendous amount of public comment on this rezoning. Those in support of it, they cite employment, the need for material, and good neighbor practices of the quarry as reasons that they support this rezoning request. Those opposed to the request cite perceived damage to homes, dust, traffic, scenery impact, and fear of general quarry impact on Holston Elementary as the reasons in general that they're opposed. During their June meeting, the Planning Commission voted to send a positive recommendation to the board in support of approving this rezoning based upon conformance with our future land use plan. The public hearing notice was published on June 22nd, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that the board might have.
Before I open up the public hearing, I want to remind you that as you come to the public podium, sign your name, address, and your limited 5 minutes. Again, keep your comments non-personal in nature. So I'm opening up the public hearing.
I sign first.
Yes, sir.
Well, good evening.
And state your name, please.
Oh, Jeff Farrell, I'm sorry. That's the first thing I got on here. Other than good evening and thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Jeff Farrell. I'm the Vice President and General Manager for Martin Marietta in what we call the East Tennessee District. I've been in this role for 15 years. My address is 1657 Christian Bend Road. I'd like to thank all of our supporters, number one, neighbors, vendors, everybody, and employees, a lot of employees, everybody who's here to support our application. I had to recognize them first, but what I want to do first is introduce Martin Marietta. Martin Marietta is an S&P 500 company. We operate hundreds of quarries all over the United States, Canada, and the Bahamas. Thus, we have a unique expertise in how to operate quarries in a lot of different environments, and environments that have lots of neighbors. We have a lot of urban environments, just a few to include Atlanta, Raleigh, North Carolina, Miami, Florida, Fort Myers, Florida, and you can imagine that those quarries have lots of neighbors of various varieties, and we manage those very well, as we do at this quarry. The number one priority at Martin Marietta is safety. Our CEO has a saying, and you can check the stats on this. He says it's safer to work at Martin Marietta than it is at Walmart. And if you look at the safety statistics published by OSHA and MSHA, that is a true statement. Safety applies to our employees, our neighbors, our customers, and our vendors, and the general community around us. And you don't grow to be a company like Martin Marietta if you're not a responsible neighbor and operator in a community. Moving to this location, the airport quarry has been in operation for 52 years. So we've got a lot of history of operating in the community. We've never had any claims or paid any claims of damage to structures, and we have structures all around this quarry. Our neighbors currently include trailers, houses, businesses. We have wells on site and around us. We have gas lines that run down Centenary Road. Right in front of the quarry, we have water and sewer that runs down Centenary Road. And we have a bridge on Airport Parkway that is very close to our quarry. Never had any issues with any of those. We are highly regulated. We are regulated by federal, state, or federal and state entities, MSHA being our federal state, Mine Safety and Health Administration, and then TDEC is our primary state regulator. The fire marshal manages the blasting part of our operations. Probably the only business I can think of in Kingsport that's more regulated than us is Eastman Chemical Company. And that's just because they handle some materials that are a lot more dangerous than what we handle. Been reading a lot on news, Facebook. I'm sure you all have gotten a lot, and there are a few things that are just incorrect, and I want to correct them here. There's been a lot of talk about purchasing property. That, number one, doesn't relate to this request, and number two, if we do purchase property, that would come back to a board such as this in the county for further approval. There's been talk about a new entrance and traffic through the neighborhood. It's not true. The zoning has a 100-foot buffer that's not even zoned. So we couldn't cross it if we wanted to because it's not zoned appropriately. There's been a talk about adding traffic to the neighborhood and roads. Nothing is going to change with the rest of the quarry process. All the processing and the trucks and the scales will stay where they are. And I'm going to restate again, we've never had a damage claim in 52 years from this quarry. This property is for extraction only. We will take the resource out of the ground, haul it to our existing operation, and process it as we currently are. We've had some local elections. I hear a lot about economic growth, economic growth, economic growth. We also have a saying at Martin Marietta, we build communities, because there's no economic growth without the product that we produce. It's in your concrete, asphalt, roads, bridges, water, sewer, schools, hospital. Sorry, I keep looking at the timekeeper. Homes, businesses, churches, and mall. We have another saying, if you can't grow it, it's mined. Few projects you may be interested in, State Road 126, newly under construction. We're going to be shipping a lot of material to that job. State Road 93, Fall Branch, I heard that mentioned, a lot of product to that job. I-81, Airport Parkway, the airport expansion, West Ridge High School, all shipped out of our quarry. I didn't see his card there.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, is that the finish?
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Just keep, if you want to speak, come speak now. I got someone, okay.
Good afternoon or evening. My name is Marcy Walker, and I am an attorney at a Hunter Smith and Davis law firm, and I represent Martin Marietta. And what I'd like to do, if it's okay, what was Ken had put up on the screen about what Martin Marietta has agreed to, I've made copies for you all.
Thank you.
If you all want to pass those around. And for the sake of the audience, I'm going to read this, not that you all can't read this on your own, but I think it's important enough that shows Martin Marietta's commitment to this region and to being a good neighbor. Martin Marietta's open pledge to its neighbors and to the Sullivan County Board of Education. If this property is rezoned as requested, Martin Marietta makes the following public commitments to limit blasting operations at its Tri-Cities quarry. Blasting shall not occur closer than 1,000 feet to Holston Elementary School unless and until a plan has been submitted to provide for safety at Holston Elementary to a high degree. The plan shall be submitted to the Kingsport Planning Department, who shall review and make any recommendations to the mayor and the Board of Aldermen. If Kingsport requires technical assistance to review such plan, Martin Marietta shall pay the cost of any agreed blasting expert. Martin Marietta shall offer an inspection at its cost of Holston Elementary by a qualified independent professional blasting expert agreeable to the Sullivan County Board of Education to document its condition before any blasting is done on the rezoned property. The inspection shall generate a written report to the Sullivan County Board of Education. All blasting shall be designated and performed by a blaster licensed by the state of Tennessee and shall comply with the Tennessee Blasting Standards Act. No blasting on the rezoned property shall exceed 1/2 of the limit found safe by the state of Tennessee in TCA Section 68, 105, 104 at the closest structure not owned by Martin Marietta. Martin Marietta shall give notice by email or telephone to the Sullivan County Director of Schools and to a designated representative appointed by the Director of Schools on the morning of a blast planned for that day. A seismograph to monitor each blast shall be placed by an independent monitoring company at Holston Elementary School at a location agreed to by the Sullivan County Board of Education. Martin Marietta shall bear all costs of monitoring. If requested by the Sullivan County Board of Education, Martin Marietta will place and pay for an additional monitor. A written report of each blast shall be generated by the seismograph at Holston Elementary and shall be provided to the Director of Schools within 24 hours of a blast. The report shall be in the same form and with the same information as given to Martin Marietta. Martin Marietta will make an independent consulting expert in blast monitoring and impacts available at its cost to answer any questions the Sullivan County Board of Education has in the future. Martin Marietta shall be responsible for any damage to Holston Elementary from blasting. If the Sullivan County Board of Education believes that there has been such damage, it shall be given written notice to Martin Marietta of the nature of the damage and the date it was caused. Thereafter, Martin Marietta shall investigate the damage and claim and seek in good faith to resolve it with the Sullivan County Board of Education. If the parties are unable to resolve the claim, Martin Marietta agrees to submit to mediation by a mediator selected by the Sullivan County Board of Education. Martin Marietta shall offer an inspection at its cost of any residential structure within 1,000 feet of a blast before any blasting is done on the rezoned property. The inspection shall be done by a qualified professional blasting expert to document its condition. The inspection shall generate a written report to the owner. At the request of any owner of a residential structure located within 1,000 feet of the blast on the rezoned property, Martin Marietta shall pay for an independent blast monitoring company to place a seismograph on such property. The seismograph shall monitor each blast, and Martin Marietta shall provide a written report of its results to each blast to the owner in the same form and with the same information as given to Martin Marietta. Martin Marietta shall be responsible for any damage to a residential structure caused by a blast on the rezoned property. If the homeowner believes that there has been such damage, it shall give written notice to Martin Marietta of the nature and damage and the date that it was caused. And because I'm running out of time, I want to get to the last point. If requested, Martin Marietta agrees to participate in a neighborhood notification process by email to give advance notice of on the day of the blast or the planned blast, which they already do. And a lot of these things they already do. But I wanted to put this in the record that this is what Martin Marietta is committed to if you all approve the zoning. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
My name is Rodney Paget. I'm at 1125 Gotland Shoals Road, Blountville. All right. The reason I'm here is to request you guys oppose this rezoning. I will say up front that I feel like that the mining company has definitely put out some good information as far as how they would try to mitigate the effect on the neighborhood and the school. But I'm coming at it really more from a former Holston Elementary school parent. My kids were there for several years. One's in high school, one's in college now, but they were there for the vast majority of their elementary and one of them middle school. The current location of the quarry is about 740 yards away from the school building, and this new the border of the new piece of property is about 250 yards away. It's significantly closer. They did say they're not planning on blasting within 1,000 feet, so I guess that would put it closer to 330 yards away. There is my understanding is there is a pretty large gas line that goes through the field between the school and the new property that's being rezoned. Of course, concerns that I have from a parent standpoint, if I had a student in that school system, would be, would there be vibrations? Would there be sirens? Would there be disruptions to classroom learning, that sort of thing? Even given advance warning of a blast doesn't dampen the impact that might have on a 5 to 10-year-old kid sitting in a classroom, especially if you have one that has sensory or autistic tendencies, things like that. Probably my biggest concern is dust and silica and stuff like that gets aerosolized. Even in an excavation-only operation, there's still going to be potential for wind to carry that over into the school area. You have children that will be outside playing recess on a daily basis. They're going to be playing sports, things like that. They basically inhale 50% more per kilogram than an adult does. So are they going to be taking in those smaller air particles into their lungs? Is that going to increase asthma, cancer risks, exertional asthma with running around outside playing and doing recess activities? Will you have kids that have kind of that exploratory desire that want to go and check it out and maybe fall over the edge or drown or something like that? And I'm sure that they would mitigate that with some sort of fencing. I don't think a berm would quite do it, but fencing might. Other concerns have really nothing to do with the hazards of the mine. It would be things like perception. You have condos going in front of the school. You've got a new development happening over across Airport Parkway. Would those parents be less likely to send their kids to Holston Elementary with it being convenient in that location, or would they be more apt to send their kid to a city school because they don't like the environment that's around Holston anymore? Or would it even maybe prevent them from wanting to move into those developments? And of course, as you know, if students are lost from the county system, that can sometimes mean cuts in the local funding for even the city school systems. So I don't think it all just comes down to cracking foundations. I think there's a lot more to consider here. And I know we need limestone for a lot of different things, but again, moving it 3 times closer to our county school, I would just hope that Kingsport would keep their county neighbors in mind when they make these decisions. Thank you.
Thank you. To keep down confusion, I think about 6 people signed up ahead of time, so I'm going to call your names. Sam Jones, followed by Devin Robinson, so he'll follow Sam.
Thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. Appreciate the opportunity. Appreciate.
But you still have to give us your
Sam
name.
Jones, 6329 Heatherwood Lane, Kingsport, Tennessee.
Okay.
I forget all that at the county too. Representing this community as their county commissioner and having grown up in that community and attended the old Holston, but we speak about the school and haven't been involved some with the special education programs that we have out there, especially in this instance, the autistic children that we have at that school. I don't know that we can always tell what's going to happen with those special ed children, their reactions. But I think it's serious enough that we need to consider it. We speak a lot about the foundations and the physical things. Not only we have the school, we have Wheeler United Methodist Church there that's close by. We have others. I guess I'm a little confused. I'm hearing a lot of numbers, 1,000 feet, 740 yards, 100-foot berm area. Does that 100-foot, is that part of the 1,000 feet from the school? I guess is a question I have. Does that extend, does 1,000 feet extend beyond that, or is it inside of that 100-foot berm would be a question I would have some concern about. But I felt like it was important because of the calls that I've had from the people I represent in that community to come and speak in opposition to this rezoning. I know we get a lot of a rock limestone from that, and the county has a quarry or a asphalt plant adjacent to it out there. We get, I think, probably all that rock now, but we're looking at, because of increasing cost, maybe looking at other opportunities to find limestone that would at a lower cost benefit not only the city, but the county paving operations. So I would just ask the city to be good neighbors with the county residents that are out there. You know, it wouldn't be there if it wasn't for annexation. That was in the county before, but I know y'all will make what you feel is a right decision, but I would ask you to really consider opposing this. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Devin Robinson.
Yeah, I'm Dave Robertson. I live at 387 Piercy Street, Bluffville, Tennessee. Good evening to every one of you. I have concerns about the rock quarry extension. One is, I guess everybody's heard Helen Lambert. She used to own several rock quarries. Her late husband built the interstate from Bristol to Glad Springs, Virginia. And she's also is the great-great-grandparents of my grandkids. And she visited my house several times. And she's been monitoring this proposal. And she says the rock quarry is too close. It's too close. She said, if I was running a rock quarry, I would not do this. So you can judge that fact on her judgment. Another thing is, you know, I send everyone emails and phone calls, and everybody knows the dangers of living close to a rock quarry. I mean, it's a known fact. You can Google it, do research, and it gives you a lot of ideas and the dangers of what can happen at a rock quarry. One is silica dust. I mean, it's invisible, and it travels 5 miles. The blasting, I mean, they got seismograph in my neighborhood, and they do notify me. But I do get a big jar at times. I mean, it jars the pictures on the wall. And you can imagine where my house property is 150 feet from the proposed rock quarry. Now, can you imagine how that blast is going to be that close? It's going to damage our house. It's going to damage our neighbors' houses. It's going to devalue our property. And really, it's going to destroy the whole neighborhood. Can you imagine flying in Tri-Cities Airport, being a visitor, and see that kind of mess around Tri-Cities Airport? You think they want to live here? I doubt that. And I hear about them running out of rock. I mean, if they was running out of rock, why didn't Blue Water buy that property as soon as it was available? They didn't. They got a good deal on it, I guess. Another thing is, whenever Blue Water tried to get approved, they said, we wouldn't have to mine that in your all's lifetime, so you don't have to worry about it. Well, and then I get a conflicting conflicts that will run out of rock. Well, at Wheeler's Church, when they had their public, Martin Marietta had their public relation meeting there, I asked the guy, why are y'all doing this? He said, just simply because it's a lot easier to mine. That's what he said. And I'm getting conflicted statements on this. So I'd like for you not propose this zoning. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Excuse me if I mispronounced, but Tim Geed.
I also live in the neighborhood. I'm at 184 Sanders Street.
So pronounce your name for me, please.
Sure, it's Tim Geed. You got it. You nailed it. So I also want to respectfully express our opposition. After I learned how close it was, I wasn't worried when I first talked to the gentleman, but I'm more concerned along with for taking care of our neighbor who's right abutting that, but as just said, it's going to go back into our whole neighborhood. It's going to destroy all the property values that close. And we all know corporations start at one place with good intentions, but as things grow, getting reimbursements and things like that from them is quite difficult. But the big issue is, as some have said, this is about neighboring, isn't it? We live in a great conservative area, and one of the biggest things that we must think about, I think, is our sovereign Lord says, whatever you want men to do to you, do also to them, for this is the law and the prophets. And the second greatest commandment, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. So just think about 100 feet from your property. I'm concerned mostly about my neighbor right here, but I'm only a little ways away, a couple blocks away. We walk this neighborhood, and we know that some people have already told us that rocks fall in the properties, and that's not that big of a deal. But when it gets that close, we don't even know the consequences, really. So I just want to reiterate my opposition as I learned how close this was as I walked the neighborhood many, many times, and my wife. So thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Wendell Millsap.
Thank you. My name is Wendell Millsap. I live at 400 Piercy Street. And that map right over there will show the two lots that's right up against the rezoning site. They say they're going to give us 1,000 feet, no, 100 feet buffer. 100 feet? That's not that far. And they're on top of me right now. So I just can't see this going forward. There's just so many ifs. What if? And I don't think it's worth the risk. So I hope y'all have had time to research the mining, how far the residents should be, businesses, whatever. And I just don't want you, I look at it this way. If you vote yes, I think you all are writing the Tri-City Acres, the Holston Elementary School, as collateral damage. Because there will be damage if they come closer. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Robert Joyner.
I'm Robert Joyner. I live at 207 Piercy Street. This dust is our main concern. It says online that silica sand can travel 40 miles in the right. It's almost invisible. And I'm thinking about it blowing through the school doors when they opened them up. I mean, it might be in the school, not only outside the school, but in the school. That's my main concern is the little kids. Martin Marietta said that they would fix a lot of things, but something they probably can't fix is get that dust back out of them kids' lungs. So, Tri-City Airport, if this continues and the dust comes over, the people might be parking there for a week while they're on vacation. They may come back with a 1/4 inch of dust on their cars. I don't know, but it could happen. So the main thing is I'm thinking about the little kids. I know I don't want to lose my house. I've been there 36 years. If you've been there 36 years, you probably ain't wanting to move. So ruin our foundations. If I wanted a shaking foundation, I'd have bought a houseboat. You know what I mean? So that's enough said. Think about the little kids, though, really. That's the main thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mark McFall. You already spoke. Thank you. Anyone else who want to speak to us? Come this way, please.
So my name is Lisa Wright. I also live right against the quarry. That's my life today. When we built our house...
Would you mind using the microphone, please?
When we built our
Thank
house,
you.
we knew it was there, but I also knew there was a big stretch of land that was zoned differently than today. So now that land is going to be rezoned, which means they're going to be blasting right on top of me. I do get a cell phone text message today when they're blasting, but it's still very scary. Sometimes it's minor. Sometimes it shakes me out of my chair if I'm working. So I can imagine what the kids are going to feel like. There's also a gas line, and that gas line is right near my neighbors. I have heard very little about the security of that major gas line and what that's shaking. They actually fly over it quite frequently to test it. So I feel concerned with the kids and the shaking. Even if they're going to be pre-warned, it's scary. And that's where I jump out of my chair today. So that's just my feeling. I hope you will reconsider and think about the kids and what they're actually going to go through if they're blasting close. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
I thought I saw a hand back here wants to speak. Come up, please.
Good evening. My name is Angie Stanley, and I live at 200 Regency Drive in Colonial Heights. I am the vice chairman for our Sullivan County School Board, and I'm here tonight to address the concerns with the rock quarry that is adjacent to Holston Elementary School. We sent you our official letter that was dated on June the 15th from our school board that was passed unanimous. It outlined that our primary responsibility is to ensure safe, secure, and supportive learning environment for all of our students and staff at Holston Elementary School. Holston Elementary School is also a hub in our county. We don't have enough special needs teachers, so it's one of our main hubs for our elementary school kids. We have 133 special needs children there at that school, which includes 18 autistic kids, 1 blind child, 35 developmental delayed children, 1 deaf, intellectual disability, we have 4, 22 health impairment children, 26 speech and language impairment, and 25 specific learning disability. The proposed expansion would place extensive quarry operations, including the blasting, just 220 yards from our school building. We are deeply concerned about the increase of the truck traffic, the noise, which includes blasting, and sirens that they're supposed to set off 3 times before they blast, the dust, and the ongoing disruption to the daily education environment, along with long-term health, safety, and the well-being of our students, our teachers, and our staff. These risks directly affect our children who are entrusted in our care every single day. Kingsport has annexed land around our school system. With that annexation comes a shared responsibility to protect our children who attend these schools. We respectfully request that you apply the same care and protection to Holston Elementary as you would to any other school here in the city limits. We are not here to debate every technical study for the rock quarry. We are simply asking that the student safety and education mission of Holston Elementary School remain the top priority in your decision today. As Sullivan County Board of Education, we value our relationships with our local governments, our businesses, and our community leaders. We believe responsible development and student safety are not mutual exclusive, but in this case, the proximity is just simply too close. We respectfully ask that you take all of these concerns with this rezoning request to protect the children and the staff at our elementary school. I will close with this question. If this were a Kingsport City school, especially Palmer Center, would you allow heavy industrial quarry operations with blasting that occurs within 220 yards of your schools? Thank you for your time, and thank each and every one of you for your service.
Thank you. Does anyone else want to speak? Okay.
My name's Jim McGill. I'm with Summers Taylor. This quarry supplies 2 of our asphalt plants and 1 of our ready-mix plants. The material is very important to us, and the cost of going to the next closest quarry would be significant. The 2 asphalt plants, we can supply their needs with 1 to 2 trucks running a day, a very short distance. To go to Watauga or Bristol, you're talking about 6 or 8 trucks running a further distance all day long. Carbon footprint and everything, it's better to stay closer. The material from this quarry, in addition to the jobs that Jeff had mentioned, it was instrumental in helping to fix Boone Dam. And when the airport redid their runway, it would have been impossible to have done it in the time frame and the budget that the airport required if that material and the asphalt plants had been any further away. There's a lot of value to this location for this rock quarry. The increased cost to us, of course, is, would show up in our roads and bridges, our infrastructure, which is all paid for by our tax dollars. So I very much would like to see the quarry stay in operation and keep our costs and the costs of our infrastructure as low as possible. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Blake Fletcher, and I live at 3512 Pinewood Place. I am here to talk about, so I went to Northeast State for my first 2 years of undergrad. I never once heard any kind of blasting or anything from the quarry. All I heard were airplanes, and I went Monday through Friday, so every day. Also, I took, since the rezoning has come about, I took time out of my day to go to a blast. And to say that they take the utmost, the safety rules and regulations were overwhelming on what they do to, in order to have this blast. The blast was it literally only lasted 2 seconds at most. It was underwhelming instead of overwhelming, because I was expecting you go in and, they do give you notification warnings, and I thought it was going to be, I had never been to a blast. I thought it was going to be something that it ended up not being. There was no movement, shaking, as far as I didn't fall over when it happened. And then after that, it was, I don't know, it was honestly really cool. But I just think that it goes along with, I understand Holston Elementary. I have a small child of my own, and I get the kid aspect, but Martin Marietta, the entire time that I was there, they had trucks watering the roads, keeping the roads clean. So, you know, there wasn't all this debris and dust from the blasting. So I don't know. I really think that, I mean, you all need to pass this vote for Martin Marietta on many different levels.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good evening. My name is Angie Manning. I'm the director of the TLC Community Center in Carter County, but I'm also a commissioner in Carter County. We have been here where you all are today, over there, even with some of our zoning issues. So hats off to you all. I know it's a very tough decision.
So if you would sign the document there, please.
Oh, okay, yes, I will. But today I would just like to bring up Martin Marietta. They have been a huge asset to our community. They have not only, I've heard some concerns here regarding children with special needs, the schools, and all of that is so important. We actually have a quarry over in Carter County, and they are present too. Our center, which I've directed for almost 27 years now, we also serve children with special needs at our facilities. We do not hear all of the blasting as such, even though we're so close to it. They do take a lot of care of trying to meet the needs of the county and the community around them. Because in all aspects, at our center where we ended up moving, we've moved to a larger facility. It's still close by. And they were bringing in the rocks, and we were having to get a lot of gravel and things that they were so helpful to our nonprofit in doing. All of that was done even with children with special needs present at our center. They were talking about the downside of it, but on the upside, we needed those supplies. Without a quarry, they're not there. The different types of rocks that I have learned along the way, from the gravel and the surface. Our playground that we actually use is made of a sandy type of rock that is special. It's very special for the kids that we work with. But overall, if they will work, if everyone here will work together with this company, I can tell you firsthand from dealing with them from a professional manner, county-wise, or as a leader of a nonprofit, they will go beyond what the expectations, trying their best. You're never going to make everyone happy, but to try to meet the needs not only of the residents and be considerate of them, but also with the children and meeting their needs, because I totally understand how important it is for a school day or for kids to not hear overwhelming sounds or to have things disrupted. But I can assure you, if you were to visit, you will find out what the last lady said as well. Very seldom you're going to hear those things. You already got an airport close by. That alone is already a lot of noise and a lot of extra activity that's going on a regular basis. But I do feel that what they are offering to the community, the whole Tri-Cities, and what they provide in the business world is much needed in order to provide things at a lower cost. And it's going to be next to somebody's house, that's just how it is. It's going to be close to a business. It's going to be close to a house, no matter where you put it. But unfortunately, today, this is what is the discussion of this particular area. So I do hope that you'll consider with all of that they have done, they're willing to do to pass this rezoning.
Thank you.
Okay.
Anyone else? Oh, okay.
Evening. I'm a lefty, so I got to move the paper around. My name is John Babcock. I live at 310 Davies Circle, Cleveland, North Carolina. And I'd like to speak today just regarding the concerns regarding the blasting and what we feel in our homes when that blasting occurs. And, you know, we're going to feel it. And so a little bit of background on me. I've been in the blast monitoring industry for about 25 years. We deploy about 1,000 seismographs across the United States and Canada with the sole goal of accurately and unbiasedly presenting to our client, the quarries, and to the community what those blasting levels are. A lot of research has been done through the years. The very first study that was done about 40 years ago, RI 8507, was the guiding study for how to monitor blasting, because as the cities grew, a lot of the quarries were outside the communities when they were first established, but as the cities grew, all the homes and communities started moving around the quarry. So it became necessary years and years ago to understand what is an acceptable way to monitor the blasting program and what are the acceptable limits for what people feel in their homes. And to do that, we have to deploy a scientific instrument called a seismograph. And the Tennessee state guidelines for blasting are very similar to all the other 50 states. So that research has been going on for many years. In fact, the state of Florida in 2017 and 2018, because of concerns of residents in their state, you can actually go look in their state budget, and they spent almost $1 million to bring in outside experts, engineers that had nothing to do with the mining programs. They brought in seismologists that had nothing to do with the monitoring in Florida. And their goal was to have an independent study re-verify what had been studied over the years, that the limits that we go by, that the state of Tennessee has to abide by, are those with current technology and understanding still safe for nearby homes and structures. And after $1 million, 2 years of study, you can go read the study online, look at their budget. They confirmed, the state confirmed, that what we go by is absolutely safe for homes. It's not a question of whether we're going to feel it. Part of my job is to be in people's homes with them, setting up a portable seismograph to monitor what they're feeling. We want to feel what the neighbors feel. We want to understand what they're feeling, but we also have to accurately document it, and that's with the seismograph. The seismograph automatically records and stores that data, and the seismograph itself actually compares those levels to the Tennessee state limit. So when we deploy around this Martin Marietta quarry, we have 7 permanent seismographs. We've monitored at numerous neighbors' homes. A lot of the neighbors that are talking know Lee, our local field technician that goes out and monitors and actually experiences what the neighbors experience in addition to getting the data. That seismograph automatically categorizes it and compares that data to the Tennessee state limit without even our involvement. So it's not only are we unbiased, we work for all the major quarry companies around the United States and Canada, but that seismograph inherently is an unbiased scientific instrument. So if we go back and review the blasting or the vibration levels and air movement levels from this particular quarry over the last 10 years, it ranges from about 5% of what Tennessee allows to about 10%. So it is only 5% of what a quarry could shoot if they so desired to these safe limits. But Martin Marietta is one of our, I would say, most prized clients, because their goal on every blast is to produce the minimal amount of what people feel, the vibration and the air movement. So when we go to work with a Martin Marietta quarry, we know we have a good partner that is going to work with the blasting companies to achieve the minimum amount that a person can feel. And I see my 1-minute warning. So, but I think that really summarizes what I wanted to share about the results that we've recorded here. Martin Marietta operates many quarries near schools. It's not that unusual. And with all the different environments that quarries operate in this case Martin Marietta, their blasting program will accurately reflect how close the houses are, what they need to stay under, and it's very impressive that they offered the site-specific goals of staying under 0.50. Most quarries, most operators will not do that. So from our perspective of seeing what's occurred over the years, I can reassure you that what is taking place, even though we feel it, is very safe for homes. It's not going to have a negative impact on the school at all. But I appreciate you guys taking the time to hear my perspective on it.
Thank you, sir.
My name's Melvin Williams, 642 Sugar Hollow Road, Telford, Tennessee. We're a contract hauler for Martin Marietta. My dad started with them, with American Limestone, the original quarry, in 1974. So it's provided like 25 of my family members income. But we approximately take 1,900 loads out of that quarry a year, which is approximately 40,000 tons. So it's very important for the community. We deliver to do-it-yourselfers, we do contractors, asphalt plants, whoever needs it, we supply it. And my concern is, it being local, if I have to go to another quarry, it's gonna, if I come back in this same area, it's gonna cost approximately $80 to $100 more for shipment than it would coming out of that one quarry there. And, you know, my concern is, you know, everybody needs to save $1 where they can nowadays. But I'm for opening up this rezoning, and hope you all do that, because, you know, it's provided me for over the years, and there's a lot of vendors and stuff rely on this quarry here. They spend a lot of money with them, and I'm one of them. So I appreciate you taking my time to listen to me.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else coming to speak?
My name is Elijah Pendleton. I live at 404 Park Terrace Road in Kingsport, Tennessee. I just want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak, and thank my plant manager for having confidence in me to represent Martin Marietta and the trade that many of us know plays a tremendous role in our community. I want to give you a little bit of a background where I came from. I was born and raised just 6 minutes from the quarry on Lone Oak Drive, located on the airport side of Colonial Heights. I attended Rock Springs Elementary School, Colonial Heights Middle School, and graduated from Sullivan South High School. Prior to the quarry, I spent roughly 3.5 years at the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office, doing my best to serve the community and give back. My family grew, and I was given the opportunity to join Martin Marietta and serve our community in another crucial way. I would like to state that prior to interviewing for the rock quarry, I never knew where it was. Living so close for 26 years, I had no idea that there was a rock quarry started around where I live. I came in with an open mind, soaking in all the information and knowledge from day to day, and having my hand in the process of above ground mining. One of the things that I learned was what all products are developed out of rock quarries that we so often take for granted in our lives. First, concrete and brick and asphalt, those are just things that we all know come out of a rock quarry. A more in-depth thing that we look at is drywall. That's in every one of our homes that we come home to each night. It's made out of rock. One thing that blew my mind when I first started working with the quarry is glass. It's made out of sand and rock, and it's melted down, and that's in so many things that we see from our day-to-day life, such as our cell phones, our vehicles, even bigger projects in our community, such as Dobbins Minute High School and Eastman Chemical Company's executive building located in the heart of Kingsport. The next process I learned was the extraction process of the rock. With hearing the countdown, the audible alarm, and the first shot I experienced, I was expecting a ground-shaking experience. Needless to say, I was underwhelmed with the extreme amount of precautions that were made prior to the extraction. I was expecting a whole lot more to happen. As I sat through the last meeting that we all had together, I heard the concerns of the residents around where I've lived my entire life, I can now humbly say that I have been closer to the process from start to finish than any of my neighbors that I've lived around. I'll wrap up my conclusion with none of us enjoy going through change, but as we've seen in recent events, change is inevitable for growth. I believe that's something we would all agree on. Tri-Cities Airport Quarry has helped develop landmarks in our community, such as Westridge High School and the new addition at our airport. We've given to the city the county, we've given them resources to build roads, bridges, and help our community and our distant neighbors for disaster relief that we went through. We've been the forefront of aggregates in the new development and houses all around us. That's something we sat through last time we were here, and all that rock begins to come from us to bring new people into Kingsport. I'd like to ask all the Tri-Cities Airport employees to stand. We as the Tri-City Airport Corps employees see Kingsport growing at a rate all around us with no hesitation. We'd like to ask for that same opportunity for our family's future and the future of our community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Greg Muncie. My address is 9509 Diggs Gap Road, High School, Tennessee. I'm a regional safety manager with Martin Marietta. I've been working in the safety and health role in the aggregates industry in East Tennessee for the last 26 years, and have specifically worked with the Tri-Cities Airport Quarry for the last 14 years. I'd like to take a few minutes to address a topic that's been brought up by several speakers here tonight, and that's related to dust. Specifically, I wanted to discuss the facts related to the success we have had in managing and controlling dust at the Tri-City Airport Quarry. First, as Jeff mentioned, at Martin Marietta, the safety and health of our employees, contractors, visitors, and the communities in which we operate is a primary core value of our company. We are uncompromising in our commitment to safety and health, and it's what drives really all the operational decisions that we make every day. In addition to our company commitment to safety and health, I'd like everyone to know that our industry and our operations are heavily regulated by the Mine Safety and Health Administration, or MSHA. This agency is within the Department of Labor, and they're required by law to make a minimum of 2 unannounced inspections each year at our operations. During these inspections, not only are they inspecting for compliance with their safety regulations, but they're also ensuring we're in compliance with their health regulations, specifically as it relates to dust. And make sure that we don't have any employees that are exceeding their permissible exposure limits. The samples they collect are personal dust samples, meaning they are taking that sample directly on the person in their breathing zone where the work is being performed. And the reason they're doing that is because that is where the highest potential for exposure takes place, is directly where the process is happening. During those samples that they have taken, since 2002, MSHA has collected 46 personal dust samples on the employees at Tri-Cities Airport Quarry. All 46 samples have been in compliance and have not exceeded any MSHA regulatory limits or permissible exposure limits for respirable dust. We have also conducted additional dust sampling at Tri-City Airport Quarry. This sampling was conducted in-house by the previous company. It was also conducted by our insurance carrier at our previous company. And currently at Martin Marietta, that sampling is done by Sandler Occupational Medical Associates, or SOMA. SOMA is a third-party nationwide company, and they handle all the dust sampling of our employees throughout the United States. The samples these groups collected were also personal dust samples, meaning on the person in the breathing zone where the work is taking place. Since 2015, there have been 23 additional personal dust samples collected on employees by these various parties at the Tri-Cities Airport Quarry. All of these samples have also been in compliance with the MSHA regulations, and none have exceeded their permissible exposure limits. The results of the sampling conducted by MSHA, as well as internal and third-party companies, has been outstanding, and it demonstrates that we do an excellent job of controlling dust within our operations at Tri-Cities Airport Quarry. In all, 69 respirable dust samples have been collected on employees during this time, and all of the samples were in compliance with the MSHA limits. In addition to collecting those personal dust samples on our employees, we also conduct regular employee health monitoring of our employees. This monitoring is also done by a third-party outside provider called Ohio Hearing Conservation. Every 3 years, our employees receive chest x-rays, pulmonary function tests to evaluate their respiratory health. The results of this monitoring shows that no employee at Tri-City Airport Quarry has ever experienced a respiratory health issue related to dust. In fact, we have employees at the Tri-City, an employee at the Tri-City Airport Quarry currently that has worked there, been in the industry for 59 years, and he doesn't have any respiratory health issues related to dust. And we recently had an employee retire from the quarry with 52 years of service, and he also does not have any respiratory health issues associated with dust. I'd also like to point out that we have never experienced any kind of occupational respiratory health issue associated with dust to any of our employees at any operations in East Tennessee. To close, I believe we demonstrated we have an uncompromising commitment to protecting the safety and health of our employees, our visitors, our contractors, and our communities. This is a responsibility that we take very seriously and we manage every day. The results of our sampling and our health monitoring show that we do an excellent job in controlling the dust exposure to Tri-Cities Airport Quarry, and we've done so for many years without any issues. So thank you again for giving me the opportunity to speak.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Walter Hillis. I am the environmental manager for Martin Marietta that's responsible for permitting and compliance at the Tennessee Tri-Cities Airport Quarry here in Tennessee. Our quarry is regulated environmentally to operate under the Clean Water Act and the Clean Air Act. And under federal law, EPA has delegated to the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation the responsibility of permitting and ensuring compliance with our permits that we must operate with. And those permits are a water permit that allows us to break ground, to extract the stone, and to manage the water that is on our site and leaves our site. And then an air permit that allows us to construct and operate the stone processing plant and the big yellow equipment that we move all of our material and stone around with. And I have been with this company or the series of companies that have owned this property since 2008. And I can tell you that since I've been here, we have been in compliance with our environmental permit and conditions of our permits issued by TDEC. And in fact, I have records going back into the 70s. I've even got the original air and water permits. The air permit was issued by TDEC, and the water permit, and actually in 1975, was issued by EPA before the state was delegated and had their own program. And I have no records of any non-compliance with this site. So that's something that we, and I as the environmental manager, are very proud of. Along with ensuring that compliance, TDEC, both the air and the water personnel that represents the divisions, they come and inspect us throughout the calendar year on a routine basis. And along with them inspecting us, we do, depending on the permit condition, daily, monthly, quarterly, and annual monitoring. Some of that monitoring I must turn into TDEC on a quarterly basis, some on an annual basis. And what I don't have to turn in on those bases is I have to keep on site for their review when they do an inspection for up to a 5-year period. Like I said, we are in compliance with those records, and that's something I'm very proud of. I've been doing this for 31 years. I've had the opportunity. This is the only profession I've ever been in, and I absolutely love it. And I'll make a comment on some stuff that were mentioned earlier. I had no idea that Mr. and Miss Taylor and Miss Bryant had the Purple Martins, and I think that's like awesome. When I was working on my undergraduate degree, I had the opportunity to do my internship with the Tennessee River Gorge Trust and the Tennessee Aquarium in Chattanooga. And actually my internship was misnetting, banding, and tracking migratory birds like the Purple Martin. So I think that's pretty cool. And in fact, just to give you an idea on the Purple Martin, you know, it is regulated in this state by TWRA, our Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. And TWRA comments on every permit application or has the opportunity through the public notice to comment. And this parcel proposed for rezoning is in our permit with the state of Tennessee to legally operate a quarry. And TWRA did not comment on any wildlife species during the public notice period, including the Purple Martin. And I have family and friends that live in Nashville, and I was actually responsible for the Danley Quarry for 12 years in Nashville that's on the south side of the airport, just below the eastern runway. And a lot of people may not know, but Nashville has a large Purple Martin society. And they estimate during the migratory season, they have 100 to 150,000 of those birds. nesting during their migratory time for a period around their symphony building. They like to call them the Nashville urban bird. So I do not believe, and TWRA did not comment, that any of the quarry activities had the potential to affect the purple martin in their migratory process. And also there was some concern mentioned about development around the airport, the neighborhoods, the businesses such as that. And again, I'll refer to that quarry in Nashville I used to be responsible for. There's a vast amount of neighborhoods, businesses, and everything around that, and it has not affected the property value or the development there. So I think you could say the same for here. So thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else want to speak?
Good afternoon. Thank you guys for having me. My name is Justin Turbofield, 117 Brianna Drive, Watauga, Tennessee. I am the foreman at the Tri-Cities Airport Quarry. 11 years ago, I decided to make a career out of what I love. That's operating equipment and doing things with my hands. I came to the quarry because of my wife's grandfather that had worked here since he was 18 years old. He has now been with the quarries for 59 years. Mr. Muncie mentioned him a moment ago. He remains one of the best employees on site to this day. Seeing the life that the quarry built and provided for him, I knew I was in the right place looking for a career. Safety is our top priority at the quarry. We have employees with decades of experience, 4 others with 25 plus years in the industry on site. So we know how important it is to protect our people. At Martin Marietta, every employee has the right to stop work if something feels unsafe or uncomfortable. We pride ourselves on the Guardian Angel Creed, which takes your being your brother's keeper a step further. We are one big family, and families do not let each other work in unsafe conditions. With that being said, this wasn't part of my speech, but listening to the concerns of the parents, the children of the schools, we can all agree that it's a concern, right, to everyone here. Well, being an employee for 11 years, I personally know multiple employees that feel comfortable enough that once their child or children, we have people that has multiple children, once they graduated high school, college, they have come on board with us also, And being a parent, it doesn't just go to elementary school or high school. You never stop loving and caring for that child. And if it was an unsafe environment, I really don't think that any father or mother would let their child come and work with us, So, sorry, I lost where I was at here. I've been seeing a lot of social media posts and news channels talking about the dangers of the quarry. In 11 years, I just haven't seen it. I mean, I started at the bottom as a shovel boy and worked my way to a foreman, and I'm just not seeing the dangers that everyone is speaking of. I'd like to thank you all and our employees, our friends, for coming out after work hours to support us. Most of all, thank you to our team for their dedication in making safety the foundation of everything we do.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'm Sue Robertson, and I live at 387 Piercy Street, Bluntville. I'm the third house from that property line. And we do feel vibrations, and they are not underwhelming. They have been overwhelming. And that's only happened in the last 2 years. Mayor Montgomery, Vice Mayor Duncan, and Alderman and City Manager, I respectfully do urge you to vote no to this rezoning. Kingsport's been my home since 1974, when as a new college graduate, I came to Hostin Valley to work as a registered nurse. At Lynn Garden Baptist, I met my Kingsport boy, and we were married in 1977 and needed to find a home. And we started looking for a home in early spring of 1978. Well, we had a rule to live in. My husband worked for Bristol, Tennessee Electric System, and they had a rule that their employees had to live within their system. Well, Airport Acres was in their system. Now, although my husband said I'd have to really like a house to drive 11 miles to work, it was about equal for our, for where we worked. So that's, Mr. Weems asked me one day why we bought a house next to a quarry. Well, that's one of the reasons, and another reason was the quarry in 1978 was started in 71. It was just a little blip over there above, on beyond Shipley Ferry Road, about 2 miles from us. It has slowly progressed. We're not wanting to stop the quarry. We just want to stop the expansion. It's only been in the last 2 years, and I know some of these guys have worked a long time with the previous quarry, we did not really feel and we did not really hear blasts up until the last 2 years. They are short, like he says, but I was sitting in my chair in my living room, and it shook my walls and it shook my chair. That is overwhelming to me. Eventually, I began working at Northeast State, retiring in 2015. After retiring, my husband also worked as an adjunct professor at Northeast State at RCAM in Kingsport. I still work part-time for Ballard. We're active members of Colonial Heights Baptist Church, and I say all of this to show that Kingsport has been our city. Kingsport is where we have invested our life, and we have been proud to call Kingsport home. Our neighborhood has stayed a safe, quiet neighborhood. It has, we were so confident that this was a good neighborhood that we actually own a second home there, one of the little one-story homes that are on level land that we hope to live in one day when we can no longer maintain our own home. Some of my concerns are I really can find no specific guidelines that Kingsport has to govern quarrying within the city. Other Tennessee cities, I found Cookeville has strict guidelines as to buffers and landscaping, and they do include a larger buffer than the 100 feet that Martin Marietta proposes in their application. As I said, I've become deeply concerned about the blasting because it's new. The vibrations are new to us. Even when that blasting is conducted within regulatory limits, and I'm sure they have done that, the constant vibration and disruption are not what our residents expected when choosing to live here. And finally, there is the impact, and even though they say there is no impact on property values, I can't see that it would not. Be able to know that just right at the end, just right at bordering your neighborhood, there is active mining going on. We love this neighborhood. We value our wonderful neighbors that are here tonight. We hope to spend the rest of our life there. That is why we respectfully ask that you would protect our community by voting no on the proposed rezoning to allow mining next to our neighborhood. I do thank you for your service to the community, for listening to all of us tonight. You have to be getting tired. And for your careful consideration of this matter. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Danny Karst, 125 West Center Street. I'm the president of Landstar. First and foremost, I want to say that, is WC here? Okay. Well, and I know that WC and his, I mean, I've spent over the last 6 years off and on time speaking with him about their property, and he's a really wonderful man, and he's got a great wife. And I know that Corey, the vice president, has been talking to him about how to maybe purchase that from them, and I trust that they'll follow through with that in the right kind of way. And of course, I know Sam there is kind of opposed to it, but he's a dear friend of mine. So we all have a little different way of looking at it. I come from a unique experience in that I worked 7 years underground in the coal mines. And to hear the record on rock dust that they have a 59-year-old guy still working there or just retired. It's amazing because rock dust is the worst thing on lungs compared to coal dust. Rock dust is heavy. And the fact that they don't have that right now, that's amazing. And let me tell you, MSHA, the only reason I say I would trust that they have to go by the most difficult guidelines is because MSHA is an extremely difficult agency to work by, and they are all after the safety of the miners. And this is not really underground. So, you know, most of their shots are put off down in. It doesn't produce a lot of dust, additional dust, from what it does presently right now, because they don't create a lot of dust. They don't blow it up like everybody thinks they do. And I want to say that I have a son who's mentally challenged. That's a unique perspective. Well, I wouldn't have asked for the different uniqueness that I've got. It just sort of happened that way. And so what I'm thinking is that knowing that MSHA oversights them, I can tell you that Martin Marietta has to live by an extreme rule, and I would be just fine with my son, who's mentally challenged. He's 45 years old now. I would be just fine with him being there, knowing that that oversight is, and the third-party monitoring that they do. It's incredible what they do. I mean, it's strict. And so the other thing I want to say is, you know, Marcy, their attorney, you know, she laid out in public comment for the board that they could feel safe about this because she issued in public, and so did the vice president, what they're willing to do. I mean, that's a tough guideline to put in public because they're on record now as saying that. And then listening to the gentleman that hauls 40,000 tons there out of there a year, that's amazing. And I, being with Landstar Development as the president, I mean, I would have to go, and many times even timing is critical in putting roads down and all those things. They make a product that is at the base of everything that we all do and build. We have to have that or we can't do that. I'm talking about anybody. It's a base. They're the base. Think about the base. And I appreciate you all listening to me and knowing I come from a unique perspective. Don't mean I have it all perfectly lined out, but just trying to share with y'all that I really would trust if my son was over there in that school and they were monitoring like they said they would. I really believe that the neighbors here can feel as extremely safe as they could because of 1 minute left. That's all I got to say. So my wife would say that you said too much. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else want to speak to us tonight? Quick on this gavel, so you got to move quick. You see me. No one else coming forth? I'm going to close public hearing. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to further amend the zoning code text and map to rezone property located along Airport Parkway from the MX Mixed Use District to the M2 General Manufacturing District and the 18th Civil District of Sullivan County to fix a penalty for the violation of this ordinance to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. You've heard reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Newsom. Any discussions? I'm going to ask first person to speak tonight, Alderman Baker.
Mayor, I'll ask you first, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, well, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to speak. I have been spent considerable time studying the application and talking with residents and reviewing how other communities regulate quarry operations and meeting with city staff. And I know my fellow board members, I have no doubt they too have devoted considerable time and consideration to this application. And I appreciate everybody who has taken the time to share their perspective tonight and in the past few weeks, all the folks I have talked to and sent messages to me. And as an alderman, I understand one of the fundamental responsibilities of government is to protect the health, safety, and welfare of its citizens. And that responsibility applies whether we're discussing neighborhoods or schools, businesses, or economic development. And the challenge is finding a balance sometimes. And I know that Martin Marietta provides an important resource for our region. Infrastructure, housing, economic development, they all depend heavily on an adequate supply of aggregate. And there is a clear regional need for additional quarry capacity. So I understand the business case for expanding the quarry. I met with the city manager and staff, and after reviewing the plat and the supporting materials, my principal concern throughout the process has been, like many have spoke tonight, the proximity of the proposed expansion to Houston Elementary School and to many of the nearby homes. And I have learned as an alderman that when we make rezoning decisions, they've got to be made under the legal framework that existed when the application was filed, and we cannot place requirements outside of our own zoning laws. But I appreciate Martin Marietta for listening to the concerns expressed by the community and for them developing their own operational guidelines that's intended to provide additional protections for the school and nearby residences. And while I recognize those guidelines that Ms. Walker read cannot be made part of tonight's zoning action, I think the company's willingness to hear the concerns and proactively respond, that has been important to me. I believe that a good corporate neighbor does more than just follow rules. It listens to its neighbors and adapts where possible. So I was prepared to vote no on the information I had presented earlier, but because of their willingness to voluntarily develop and bring forward some operational guidelines that I believe will provide additional protection for the school and nearby residents, Mayor, I believe approving the zoning, rezoning is the appropriate decision tonight. So I will give my time back to you, Mayor.
Thank you. Other discussion, comments?
I'll just say a few words. I really appreciate everybody being here tonight as well. I will say for Martin Marietta, I think, you know, the schools, as I would say 3/4 of the people here has mentioned the school, and which is a concern, and I can assure you it's a concern for everyone on this board as well. But I think there's room for Martin Marietta to be a better community partner. I think you are a good community partner, it seems like, but I think there's some willingness that it could probably go a little bit more. And I don't understand all this, but it seems like that if the school is the issue and you're blasting during school time, it looks like it could be deviated till 4 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the morning, or maybe on Saturday on the weekends. Because it's like so many said, I mean, there's 133 special needs children there, and that's what's on their website too. I looked it up. Out of 635 kids, there's 130 special need kids. And so I would ask that, you know, you're sending a call out of a morning of the same day. Well, that's not even very much time, you know, to prepare. I would say you start, you know, 2 or 3 days in advance to just give a little bit more warning to the neighbors and to the school. But I guess my question would be to be a little bit more of a community partner and deviate that away from school time. And so I don't think that's asking very much. And it's also, I think, an opportunity to be more involved in that school and in that neighborhood. And I know that on some bases that you are, but they've got PTOs and they've got, you know, different organizations there that I think that would be an opportunity for Martin Marietta to get involved in and show that you do have compassion and still be working in the environments that you do. And so I appreciate everybody being here, and so I will close that.
Okay. Other comments?
I understand. I taught school for 31 years, so I understand the school aspect of it. But I also know that Sullivan County buses or sends the children to Holston as the hub. So those children, if it's truly an issue, you know, they might want to find another school that's not near where to send the children to. I mean, that's the choice of Sullivan County Schools. And I know my fellow board members have heard me say this a lot of times, that when I hear a discussion or I hear a decision like this, I think of the two kids on the playground that came to me with a fuss, and I listened to both sides of the story, and then I realized that the truth or the decision is somewhere in the middle, because they both have their own perspective of what happened. And the same thing here. I can truly see both sides of it. I can see, you know, the sides of the residents and the schools and the students, and I can see the sides of the company and what they produce and how it's a needed resource for our community. So we, you know, as an alderman, what my decision now is, just, you know, do I look? I have to see which way it slides. Is it closer to, you know, what we need, or is it closer to the, you know, some of the personal comments from the residents? You know, and I would think right now, as it stands, that I'm closer to the, you know, I know that it's a needed resource in our community, and that's probably the way I will go.
Other comments?
Mayor, if I may, I have a few questions. I apologize.
Sure.
I know it's been a long
Hands
night.
here to answer.
Okay, so one thing, I had some questions from the audience, and just for the record. So is tonight the last and final vote on the rezoning?
No, sir. There'll be a second reading for the zoning ordinance at the next BMA meeting.
And that next meeting is when? August?
I don't have it right off the top of my head.
August 3rd.
August 3rd.
August 3rd.
No matter what we vote tonight, there's still a second reading, or if it fails, that's it.
Actual meeting is Tuesday, August 4th, 7 o'clock.
Okay.
Thank you.
August 4th.
So I still have a couple more questions and comments. Another question I have is this additional information that was put into the zoning packet that Martin Marietta read. Is that document part of the official record that's been put on the agenda?
I think we actually incorporated it into the agenda just late this afternoon.
Okay.
So yes, sir, it is.
So in my mind, this is a very important document because it is, can we call this a commitment?
I would probably just identify it for what it is. You know, I don't, you know, just what the words say themselves, really. I don't know if it's could be categorized as a commitment or not, but I probably want some more time with it to properly evaluate it before I would, you know, claim it's something.
And so just to make sure, so this is on our published website, Municode, I believe. And can we send this to the Sullivan County School Board as well?
I'm sure we could send that along to them if that's
great.
What the board wants to do. Sure.
Mr. Mayor, if I may just perhaps clarify one point as it pertains to Alderman Mays' question. It is the voluntary commitments of the applicant. However, it is not a condition that is being placed upon the zoning. So just so everybody's clear on that.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. All right, so in the previous application that was in front of the Planning Commission, there was a 100-foot barrier and a berm included. Right. So if I read these commitments, not part of the zoning requirement, but if I read these commitments, it says 1,000 foot from Holston Elementary. So that's, is that correct? That's much larger distance than 100 foot.
The 1,000 is more than the 100, yes, sir.
Okay. So on the map, do we have a map? Is that 1,000 feet of perimeter, or is that 1,000 feet from which boundary?
Well, I don't think it really mentions a boundary in there. We would just need more specifics on it. You know, I think it says from the school, so I probably would measure off the school property boundary just to be conservative, you know, which will be right there. But in that, I measured the 1,000 feet. It's essentially takes up a pretty good portion of that site there, but I would
Okay.
imagine off the property line to give the most conservative answer.
I guess that's something we would get answered between now and next month, maybe?
Well, we would just, I guess we could ask for clarification
Okay.
on what they wrote, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
And a couple of things. I think someone made the comment, I didn't write down who the speaker was, but there was a rezoning 10 years ago on the site that was approved by the county commission. Was that prior to the city's growth boundary? Or why
no,
was the
sir,
city
it
not
was,
involved in?
It was after it, and it was actually our planning commission, was the planning commission that made the recommendation to the county commission.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And both bodies approved that rezoning?
Well,
Obviously.
the commission just sent a positive recommendation to the county commission, but the county commission approved their zoning ordinance in accordance with that recommendation, so.
And that was, I guess, on the other side of the property, or it looked like it was red?
It's right next to it's these two right here. I've got the pointer on them.
Okay.
These two right there.
All right.
And they're also right there. You can see where the pit's expanded into them on the
Okay.
aerial.
So I do have, I think this document that we've been given, and I would like for that to be sent for to the Sullivan County Board of Education for sure, for them to
Okay.
review. I would really agree with Vice Mayor comments. I think I'm in agreement with him. This information was not available to the Planning Commission when I voted. And my concern when I voted no at the Planning Commission was the letter from the Sullivan County Schools expressing concern about Holston Elementary. And yes, it's a county school system, and we all care about that, and they're responsible for student safety. And so I think this document goes a long way in addressing those concerns. And I wish we could have had this before the Planning Commission, but I understand it's where we are now. And I'll be glad to hear what the school board's reaction is to that. But I think it substantially addresses in a meaningful way my concerns, at least that I had at the Planning Commission. And one thing I think it's important to point out is that the seismology monitoring, I've watched the school board meeting, the Sullivan County School Board meeting 2 times, and so they received a pretty detailed presentation about the rock quarry. And one of my takeaways from that meeting with the county school board was for many years, I believe 10 years, the seismology has been much less than what's allowed by the state of Tennessee. And my last comment is the city of Kingsport does not regulate mining activity or quarry activity. That's all handled through the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation, TDEC. The only thing that we have is zoning itself. The city does not have operational authority over the rock quarry or any type of mining activity. So that's my comments, Mayor. Thank you for
Thank
time.
you. Thank you. Any other comments, questions? Yes, sir.
I'll just say, first of all, I did not come here tonight expecting to learn so much about birds. So I don't know if that's a pleasant surprise or not, but I'll take something home to the 8-year-old. But I do appreciate everybody speaking tonight, and it's very refreshing to sit here for an hour and 50 minutes and not be yelled at. So I do appreciate everybody. It's been very respectful, the emails and the phone calls. I was on vacation last week with my family and probably got 25 phone calls and 50 emails. And so if I didn't get back to you, it's because we were out of town. But even those were very respectful and just stating their opinion on the situation. And so we do appreciate that. That does not go unnoticed. I think it's interesting that the emails that we've got from people who live in the neighborhood have varied somewhere between a scene out of Independence Day with rocks falling and burning down houses to everything is perfect and I have no issues. So I think to Betsy's point, usually the truth is somewhere in the middle in there. I do greatly appreciate this information. I think that this commitment makes a big difference. I hope that it probably eases. I hope it eases the minds a little bit of the people with the school system and that live in that neighborhood. And I think a big thing for me is that including this information, the quarry's been there for 52 years, and I asked last night. They've never had a house in that subdivision have a claim against them or asked to be paid to fix something. So I think that probably shows their commitment and really where the blasting lies. Now I know it's going to be closer, but I trust their commitment on this. So I think I was looking at my notes, but I think that's probably it for me.
Okay, Alderman Baker wants to comment again.
Mayor, I will just echo Alderman May's comment about sending the information to Sullivan County School Board. I think sometimes regional cooperation lacks in our area, and I'd like to see as much as we can do with them to try to find resolution. I also know that we cannot put stipulations on the zoning approval, but I want to echo what Vice Mayor Duncan said about Martin Marietta thinking about doing blasting in off-school hour times. I think that is there's things I can do legally in my home that may affect my neighbor, and there's times I've got to stop and think about that before I actually take that action. So I appreciate Martin Marietta coming tonight and speaking and addressing a lot of the concerns I had. They actually helped alleviate. So, but that's my comments. Just wanted to mention those two things.
Okay.
I want to say, I do appreciate all the people that have come out. I appreciate all the phone calls, all the text messages, all the emails. I too learned a lot. I learned a lot more about mining. I do have birds, so I'm good on that. I have too many if anybody wants to buy a peacock. But I really appreciate how professional everybody is here and all the information. I appreciate everybody for answering all of our additional questions. I know the city staff has really stepped up and gotten a lot of information to us, as has everybody involved in this. So I do really appreciate the way this was handled and all the data we've gotten. So thank you, guys.
I, too, want to add my comments. I understand both sides. I can clearly see both sides in this situation. I understand the continuity of business. I understand the importance of expansion and all this sort of thing. And I also understand the neighbors' concerns. And basically where I come down is this. I ask myself the question, if I live in that neighborhood, what would I want? And so that I think I have the answer to that. So by saying that, I think we're ready to vote. Ready to vote. Mr. Recorder, we have a roll call vote, please.
Alderman Baker?
Aye.
Alderman Cooper?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan?
Aye.
Alderman George?
Aye.
Alderman Mays?
Aye.
Alderman Phillips?
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery?
No. Motion, ordinance passes 6-1. Let's take a small recess for 10 minutes, please. Thank you. I'm gonna call the meeting back in session. Mr. City Manager.
All right, next item is conduct a public hearing and consideration of an ordinance to amend zoning of tax map 46G, Group A, parcel 21, located along Gibson Mill Road from the R1B Residential District to R3 Low Density Apartment District. Jessica McMurray will conduct a presentation.
Thank you. This is an owner-requested rezoning located along Gibson Mill Road. On this map, you can see the vicinity of where the site is located. On this next slide, you will see zoning designations for the area. The request is to rezone from the R1B Residential District to the R3 Low Density Apartment District to accommodate construction of a duplex. On this slide, you will see the future place type recommendation is compact living, which supports duplexes as a preferred use. The proposed R3 zone permits a range of housing options, including single-family, two-family, and multifamily dwellings. On these next two slides, you'll see standards of review, and these are used to determine if a rezoning is appropriate. In this case, the proposed rezoning to R3 is appropriate and would allow compatible duplex development as a modest increase in residential density without adversely impacting nearby properties. The request is consistent with the compact neighborhood place type, which supports a mix of housing options and a more efficient residential land use. During their June meeting, the Planning Commission voted to send a positive recommendation to the board to rezone from the R1B zone to the R3 zone based on its consistency with the compact neighborhood place type. And I'm happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Okay, I'm gonna open up the public hearing. Is anyone here to speak on this ordinance to amend zoning of tax map 046G? Seeing no one move, I'm going to close the public hearing. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to further amend the zoning code text and map to rezone property located along Gibson Mill Road from the R1B Residential District to the R3 Low Density Apartment District in the 11th Civil District of Sullivan County to fix penalty for the violation of this ordinance and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. You've heard reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So move.
Motion for approval by Alderman Mays. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Duncan. Any discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Recorder, please call the roll.
Alderman Baker.
Aye.
Alderman Cooper.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan.
Aye.
Alderman George.
Aye.
Alderman Mays.
Aye.
Alderman Phillips.
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. Ordinance passes 7-0. Ms. City Manager.
All right, next item is consideration of an ordinance to increase court costs. You see there, the recommendation is to increase the municipal court costs to $106.50 per case from the current amount of $85 per case. Ever so often, and in my nearly 30 years with the city of Kingsworth, I think it's probably the third or fourth time that we've evaluated, but it is timely, at least every 5 years, do an evaluation of this, to evaluate what your costs are compared to what the expense is for the court and the various services we provide. We had this conversation during our budget process, and this is now coming to you all for approval. The recommendation would be to approve the ordinance increasing the court costs for municipal court.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance amending section 30-29 of the Code of Ordinances, City of Kingsport, Tennessee, relating to court costs, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. You've heard reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Phillips. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman George. Any discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Recorder, please take the roll call vote.
Alderman Baker. Alderman Baker. Alderman Cooper.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Vice Mayor Duncan.
Aye.
Alderman George.
Aye.
Alderman Mays.
Aye.
Alderman Phillips.
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. The ordinance passes 7-0. Ms. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of the budget adjustment ordinance for various funds in fiscal '26. You see the receipt of funds and then the remainder in the next two paragraphs. are the closing of projects and the movement of dollars consistent with what we have been bringing you all for the last several months as it pertains to fiscal 26, simply closing projects and redirecting those funds to active projects. We'd ask that you approve this budget ordinance on first reading, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance of the City of Kingsport, Tennessee, amending the 2025-2026 fiscal year budget.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion?
Not often you only vote for, on $158.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Recorder, please have roll call vote.
Alderman Baker.
Aye.
Alderman Cooper.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan.
Aye.
Alderman George.
Aye.
Alderman Mays.
Aye.
Alderman Phillips.
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. Ordinance passes 7-0. Ms. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of budget adjustment ordinance for various funds in fiscal 27. A lot of what you are looking at here are going to be action items later in the agenda. The first comes to us as part of the Board of Education, setting up the funding for the school crossing guards, transit dollars, setting up the state dollars, and then various adjustments within our utilities, the sewer, water, stormwater, and then projects within both of those. We'd ask that you approve this budget ordinance for fiscal 27 on first reading, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance of the City of Kingsport, Tennessee, amending the 2026-2027 fiscal year budget.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
Moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George. Sir, second.
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Recorder, please call the roll. Vote.
Alderman Baker.
Aye.
Alderman Cooper.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan.
Aye.
Alderman George.
Aye.
Alderman Mays.
Aye.
Alderman Phillips.
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. The ordinance passes 7-0. Ms. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of an ordinance to amend the fiscal 27 school general purpose fund budget and the general project fund budget. This comes to us from the Board of Education. Where you'll see a couple things here in regards to either donations or adjustments being made as a result of funding within TISA, and then also making adjustments on two active projects, Dobbins Bennett renovations and the new Lynn Garden Elementary School. Again, this comes to you from the Board of Education. We'd ask that you approve this ordinance on first reading, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to amend the general purpose school fund budget and the general projects fund budget for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2027, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Phillips. Any discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Recorder, please call the roll call vote.
Alderman Baker.
Aye.
Alderman Cooper.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan.
Aye.
Alderman George.
Aye.
Alderman Mays.
Aye.
Alderman Phillips.
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. The ordinance passes 7-0. Ms. City Manager.
All right, now moving into business matters requiring final adoption. First item is consideration of a budget adjustment ordinance for various funds in fiscal 26. Again, this comes to you on second and final reading. We'd ask that you approve this budget ordinance, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance of the City of Kingsport, Tennessee, amending the 2025-2026 fiscal year budget. Sorry, I got lost.
Past his bedtime.
Please keep up with us.
All right.
Finish reading?
I got it.
Okay.
I got it.
Okay, you've heard the reading of the ordinance. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George, our second.
Second.
Second by Alderman Phillips. Any discussion? Mr. Recorder, please set the roll call vote.
Alderman Baker.
Aye.
Alderman Cooper.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan.
Aye.
Alderman George.
Aye.
Alderman Mays.
Aye.
Alderman Phillips.
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. Ordinance passes 7-0.
All right, now moving into other business. First item is consideration of a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an amendment to the contract between the City of Kingsport and Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation. This is an item that you all see annually on your agenda. This has to do with our demolition landfill and the requirement to state to them that if they need to close that the funding is there to do so. This is a contract is coming back to y'all because there's a reflecting just the inflationary cost of 2.8%. Again, this is something that you all see on a regular basis, part of our requirement to operate the landfill and under the guidelines of TDEC. We'd ask that you approve this resolution, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution approving an amendment to the contract in lieu of performance bond with the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation, increasing the amount of financial assurance for the landfill, authorizing the mayor to execute the amendment, and all other documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the amendment or this resolution.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Oh, was it?
It doesn't matter. Betsy.
This side.
She seconded.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion? Sorry about that. Any discussion?
So Chris, is that 2.6? I should have asked you this yesterday or Monday. Is that 2.6? Is that cash? Is that liquidity?
Represents dollars. Yeah, that represents dollars we have available should we need it.
So you've got the increased cash amount by 2.5%?
No, this is the.
Not by that much, no.
Right now, this is simply an increase of.
2.8%.
Yes, it's a very small amount, $70,000.
Yeah, but it is cash that we're sitting on?
It is the total cost that it would take to close the landfill.
Yeah.
From financial perspective, because there's years left of this, roughly 7 years, we have reserved about 1.3 of that. But that's the liability that we have booked financially. We do have that cash available in that fund.
Okay. So we just earn interest off of that, I guess, or we just use it in cash, part of the cash fund?
Yeah.
Okay. But it's earmarked dollars? Thank you.
Every year.
Any
In other
other,
words, I should have known the answer to that before I asked, right?
You're good.
That's okay.
any other discussion? Okay, no. Mr. Recorder, please have a roll call vote.
Alderman Baker?
Aye.
Alderman Cooper?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan?
Aye.
Alderman George?
Aye.
Alderman Mays?
Aye.
Alderman Phillips?
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery?
Aye. The resolution passes 7-0. Yes, City Manager.
Next item is consideration of resolution authorizing the mayor to execute all documents necessary to accept federal and state planning funds from the Virginia Department of Transportation on behalf of the Kingsport Metropolitan Transportation Planning Organization. This is an agreement that comes to us on a regular basis. As you know, part of our transportation planning region stretches into Virginia. As a result, Virginia DOT pays money into MTPO for planning purposes. This will establish those dollars for use by the MTPO office. We'd ask that you approve this resolution, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution approving a letter of authorization between the City of Kingsport and the Virginia Department of Transportation to receive Federal Highway Administration planning funds for use by the Kingsport Area Metropolitan Transportation Planning Organization for the fiscal year 2027, authorizing the mayor to execute the same and authorizing the mayor to execute any other documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the letter of authorization.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Recorder, please call the roll call vote.
Alderman Baker?
Aye.
Alderman Cooper?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan?
Aye.
Alderman George?
Aye.
Alderman Mays?
Aye.
Alderman Phillips?
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery?
Aye. The resolution passes 7-0. This is Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute all documents necessary to receive Section 5339 TDOT Capital Grant Matching Contract for one transit vehicle replacement in the CATS fleet. earlier this calendar year. You took the necessary steps to set aside the federal dollars. Now we're bringing this back in order to set up the state dollars. As you know, our transit system is heavily subsidized through federal and state dollars, allowing us to operate this with minimal impact to our local budget. This puts in place the necessary dollars now to move forward with the acquisition of this vehicle. We ask that you approve the resolution, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution approving a grant contract with the Tennessee Department of Transportation to receive Section 5339 matching funds and authorize the mayor to execute the agreement and all the documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the agreement.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Phillips. Any discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Recorder, please call a roll call vote.
Alderman Baker.
Aye.
Alderman Cooper.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan.
Aye.
Alderman George.
Aye.
Alderman Mays.
Aye.
Alderman Phillips.
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. The resolution passes 7-0. Ms. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of resolution to award the bid to KZ Construction, Inc. for the Bancroft Chapel Road Sanitary Sewer Extension Project and to authorize the mayor to sign all applicable documents. This came to you all as part of an annexation not too long ago. This is the next step in order to provide utilities to that site. We'd ask that you move forward with the award of bid in the amount of $524,580.70 to KZ Construction.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution awarding the bid for the Bancroft Chapel Road Sanitary Sewer Extension Project to KZ Construction Incorporated and authorizing the mayor to sign an agreement for the same and all documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the agreement.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Recorder, please take a roll call vote.
Alderman Baker.
Aye.
Alderman Cooper.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan.
Aye.
Alderman George.
Aye.
Alderman Mays.
Aye.
Alderman Phillips.
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. The resolution passes 7-0. Ms. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to abandon sanitary sewer easements along Riverbend Drive to support construction of the Arbor 2 development. It's been noted that approximately 11,175 square feet sanitary sewer easement on the Riverbend Drive needs to be abandoned in order to support that development. Bringing this to you all tonight for your approval to allow us to move forward with the necessary documentation to abandon that. We would ask that you approve this resolution.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution to abandon a sanitary sewer easement located off Riverbend Drive situated in the city of Kingsport, 11th Civil District of Sullivan County, and authorize the mayor to execute all documents necessary and perform any acts necessary to effectuate the purpose of this resolution.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Recorder, please take the roll call vote.
Alderman Baker.
Aye.
Alderman Cooper.
Abstain.
Vice Mayor Duncan.
Aye.
Alderman George.
Aye.
Alderman Mays.
Aye.
Alderman Phillips.
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. The resolution passes 6-0-1. Ms. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution renewing the award of bid for school crossing guard services and authorizing the mayor to sign all applicable documents. Again, this is a service that we've had in place for several years, and the request for this to continue into next year, total cost of $97,135.20. This is a request that has also been before the Board of Education, and we'd ask that you approve the resolution allowing for the renewal.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution renewing the award of bid for school crossing guards to All City Management Services Incorporated and authorizing the mayor to sign an agreement for the same and all documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the agreement.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Duncan. Alderman Phillips. I'll get it right here in a second. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman George. Any discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Recorder, please take the roll call vote.
Alderman Baker.
Aye.
Alderman Cooper.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan.
Aye.
Alderman George.
Aye.
Alderman Mays.
Aye.
Alderman Phillips.
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye, the resolution passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of resolution to authorize the issuance of general obligation capital outlay notes, Series 2026, not to exceed $2,545,000. For several months now, we have been walking you down a path and even have brought before you bids that were necessary to go ahead and put in place for the timing of work that needs to be done at the Kingsport Aquatic Center. I believe we are in year 13, right around year 10, 11, we begin to see in any facility of this magnitude the need to go in and do very detailed work, but work also that comes at a very high price tag. You see listed within there the various things that will be done, from replastering the pools both inside and out, new scoreboard replacement, sprinkler system, and various other improvements, especially those within the air handling, dehumidification that are necessary for the operation of that facility. This is timely work in order to make sure that we can get this work done before we move into the swim meet season and then prior to next season opening the outdoor water park. Really appreciate the work that the staff has done to go out and identify those who could bid on this, the type of work that we need, and then to get this into an amount that you see here, which I think is a very good job and very good bids that have reflected this. We will, upon your approval, still need to go through the process of issuing that debt, and we anticipate wrapping that up sometime next month. With that, we'd ask that you approve the resolution authorizing us to begin the process of issuing this debt for work at the Kingsport Aquatic Center.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
Resolution of the City of Kingsport, Tennessee, authorizing the issuance of interest-bearing general obligation capital outlay notes, Series 2026, in an amount not to exceed $2,545,000, and providing for the payment of said note.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion?
How long will this take? I mean, I know they'll close down after Labor Day, I assume, and then
We're going to shut down for about 4 months. Hope we can beat that, but that's kind of the time period that we got set aside to get all this work.
first of the year.
Yes.
Is that when swim season?
February.
February. Yeah, when we get into January, February, that's when we really begin to see a lot of our big swim meets, especially college meets. So it'll be timely to get that done.
Chris, the aquatic center is on over 20 years old, I guess. So this is, it's not 13?
It may seem longer.
It does seem longer, actually, so. So my understanding, we've talked about the aquatic center a lot in the budget process. But I just want to clarify for the record that the aquatic center holds competition and folks that travel into Kingsport, and it's the only facility that can accommodate those type of competitions in the area. So somebody asked me the other day, is the Johnson City proposed center going to be in competition with our aquatic center, or is it equal to that? Do you know?
Based upon what I have seen thus far, yes, it will be a competitor not only in what they offer and mimicking or mirroring, I should say, a lot of what we offer, but also in just from a staffing standpoint. The other aquatic centers built within the region, we're going to continue to look at staffing challenges that are going to come with that. So it's going to require a lot of work on our part, not only to maintain what we have in terms of the various events or meets that take place there, but also just in total operation of it.
Well, it certainly behooves us to maintain the facility and keep it in proper order, because those are customers that we have, right? And customers to keep, right?
Absolutely. I think one of the things that we talked about back in 2012 when we were having conversations about this is our desire to keep this facility at a very high level throughout its entire life. And in order to do that, you've got to make this reinvestment. And so this is a critical reinvestment. In a few years, another board will be looking at the need to make other investments in regards to other amenities there on the property. So it's very important to maintain these facilities at a very high level.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none. Mr. Recorder, please take the roll call vote.
Alderman Baker.
Aye.
Alderman Cooper.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan.
Aye.
Alderman George.
Aye.
Alderman Mays.
Aye.
Alderman Phillips.
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye, the resolution passes 7-0. The city manager.
Next item is consideration of resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with Thompson and Litton for Phase 3 of the architectural and engineering services for the new elementary school in Lynn Garden. This is an item that has been brought before you all on several different occasions. It comes to you from the Board of Education, having they recently took action on this, but this puts in motion the next phases of the design, bringing this all the way up into the bidding and even into the administration of the construction. Thompson & Litton has done an outstanding job working with all parties on this project to this point. You see the schedule there. Design is anticipated to be complete in June of 27, construction to begin in September 27, and then for the facility to be open and operational by August 29. These steps that you're being asked to take tonight allow us to stay on that schedule. So with that, we'd ask that you approve the resolution allowing for the execution of this agreement for the new elementary school in Lynn Garden.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution approving an agreement with Thompson & Litton Incorporated for architectural and engineering services relative to Phase 3 of the new elementary school in Lynn Garden, and authorize the mayor to execute all documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the agreement.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Recorder, please take the roll call vote.
Alderman Baker.
Aye.
Alderman Cooper.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan.
Aye.
Alderman George.
Aye.
Alderman Mays.
Aye.
Alderman Phillips.
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. The resolution passes 7-0. Ms. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of resolution to authorize city recorder to reconcile and adjust uncollectible property taxes for the tax year of 2015. Again, another item that you all see on a regular basis. This year, it is for tax year 2015. You can see down at the bottom, there's an adjustment that needs to be made of $64,000, the bulk of which is in personal property tax. That brings us to a total collection for 2015 at 99.83% being collected. So very good job. As always, appreciate the work done by staff to get to this point. I ask that you all approve the resolution on this item.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the city recorder to reconcile and adjust delinquent property tax receivables in fiscal year 2026 for the tax year 2015, and authorizing and directing the mayor and the city recorder to execute any pleadings necessary and proper for the delinquent tax collection lawsuit.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George. Is there a second? Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion?
Just want to say that when I read this, I was astounded to see a 99.8% collection rate. And I agree, staff works hard to collect that, but also citizens of Kingsport paying their taxes. And it's a pretty remarkable 99.8. I don't think in my lifetime I've ever seen that. So good job.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Mr. Recorder, please call the roll call vote.
Alderman Baker.
Aye.
Alderman Cooper.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan.
Aye.
Alderman George.
Aye.
Alderman Mays.
Aye.
Alderman Phillips.
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. The resolution passes 7-0. Ms. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of resolution authorizing the mayor to sign the agreement with Colorado Timing for timing, scoring, and video display equipment for the City of Kingsport Aquatic Center. It was stated earlier in regards to the debt issuance for the purchase of this. Current timing system scoreboard has reached end of life. It's no longer being supported by the company. So it's necessary for us to have this in place. Again, as we stated ahead of the meets that will begin in February. So we'd ask for your approval for the approval of this resolution to move forward with the purchase of this equipment.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the purchase of timing, scoring, and video display equipment from Colorado Timing Systems utilizing TIPS contract number 250901 and authorizing the mayor to execute all documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of this resolution.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman George and seconded by Alderman Phillips. Any discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Recorder, please set the roll call vote.
Alderman Baker.
Aye.
Alderman Cooper.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan.
Aye.
Alderman George.
Aye.
Alderman Mays.
Aye.
Alderman Phillips.
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. The resolution passes 7-0. Ms. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of resolution to accept changes to the FTA substance abuse policy to comply with the regulations of the Federal Transit Authority. Time to time, FTA will send guidance down to the City of Kingsport in order for us to make the necessary adjustments to any policy we have in order to comply with federal policy and regulations. This is necessary as a result of us operating the transit service and receiving funds from FTA. So with that, we'd ask that you approve the resolution making these changes.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution amending the Federal Transit Authority substance abuse policy for city employees.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Cooper. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman George. Any discussion? Mr. Recorder, please take the roll call vote.
Alderman Baker.
Aye.
Alderman Cooper.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan.
Aye.
Alderman George.
Aye.
Alderman Mays.
Aye.
Alderman Phillips.
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. The resolution passes 7-0. Ms. City Manager.
All right, now move into the consent agenda. Very proud to report, Mayor, that we have 21 items on the consent agenda for tonight. I will read through those. If you'd like one pulled for additional discussion, please let me know. First is consideration of a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute Addendum 13 of the Substitute Staffing Services Agreement with ESS South Central LLC for Kingsport City Schools. This item is consideration of a resolution to approve a memorandum of understanding with the U.S. Marshals Service for the Kingsport Police Department, designate sworn task force officer. Third is consideration of a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute all documents necessary and proper to apply and receive a grant from the state of Tennessee for School Resource Officer, the SRO grant program for fiscal 27. Next is consideration of a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a signature authority form allowing the chief of police or his designee to complete a memorandum of understanding with Kingsport City Schools and grant reports as required by the state of Tennessee School Resource Officer, SRO grant program for fiscal 27. Next is consideration of a resolution accepting a donation from Ballot Health for a reset room at various school locations. Next item is consideration of a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute the renewal of a memorandum of understanding with Clarvita for counseling services for Kingsport City Schools. Next item is consideration of a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a renewal agreement with Frontier Health for counseling services at Kingsport City Schools. Next, consideration of resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a contract for school kit for purchase of Year 2 literacy implementation support for Kingsport City Schools. Next item is consideration of resolution authorizing East Tennessee State University to provide educational services at the Kingsport Center for Higher Education. Next item is consideration to approve offer of right-of-ways and easements for the Jack White Drive, Eastman Road Intersection Improvement Project. Next item is consideration of resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an amended and restated purchase agreement with Solution Tree for professional development for Kingsport City Schools. Next item is consideration of resolution to approve a mural in the B2 Central Business District Zone. Next item is consideration of resolution rejecting the bid for city-owned surplus real property located at 526 Sequoia Drive, tax map 46H, Group C, Parcel 3. Next item is consideration of resolution authorizing the mayor to sign an agreement with Kingsport Tribe Youth Football and Cheer. Next item is consideration of resolution authorizing the mayor to sign an agreement with Tribe Baseball Club for Kingsport and the use of athletic facilities. Next item is consideration of resolution authorizing the mayor to sign agreements with Appalachian Highlands United Soccer Club. Next item is consideration of a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute the annual renewal of the Public Library Service Agreement with the Tennessee State Library and Archives. Next item is consideration of resolution to close the Public Library Commission Fund. Next item is consideration of resolution to renew the city's policy for liability coverage with public entity partners. Next item is consideration to reappoint Chris McCart to the Tri-Cities Airport Authority. And the last item is consideration to appoint Samantha Johnson to the Kingsport Public Library Commission. Mayor, you've heard the 21 items that represent the consent agenda. We'd ask that you approve these unless there's a desire to pull one or more for additional discussion.
You've heard of the reading of the 21 items on the consent agenda. May I have a motion for approval?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to accept all items on the consent agenda as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion?
Chris could read those again and be
Yeah.
very nice.
I didn't hear, I wasn't over.
Okay.
Hand it to you.
Okay, Mr. Recorder, please take the roll call vote.
Alderman Baker.
Aye to all items.
Alderman Cooper.
Aye to all.
Vice Mayor Duncan.
Aye to all.
Alderman George.
Aye to all.
Alderman Mays.
Aye to all items.
Alderman Phillips.
Aye to all.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye to all. The consent agenda items are approved, 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
All right, Mayor, that concludes the agenda. We'll move into communications, and I'd just simply like to say a big thank you to the city employees that are working this week as part of Fun Fest. We, as you all know, are very integral to the entire operation that began really last week and has continued on and will continue through this week into Saturday night. We state this often, but it is something that we take a tremendous amount of pride in. Sunday morning on your way to church, when you drive down Eastman Road, you're not going to have any idea that there was a festival there other than the empty tents that are sitting there. And that's a result of a lot of folks within the city of Kingsport, Public Works especially, but a tremendous amount of volunteers that help make that happen. So I tip my hat to them every year, appreciate the work they do, the work public safety does, the work that our folks in leisure services provide as well. Great operation, one that we just execute almost flawlessly. So thanks to them. That's all I got.
Thank you. Alderman Baker.
In the interest of time, I will defer comments, Mayor.
Alderman Phillips.
Ditto, but thanks for Fun Fest. Everybody have a great Fun Fest, and IMAX is awesome. Let's go home.
Alderman Mays.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, everybody that knows me knows I'm a movie nerd. So, and I'm especially a Christopher Nolan fan. And so to get to see a Christopher Nolan movie in IMAX Theater in Kingsport, Tennessee, just minutes away from my home, was an unbelievable experience. And again, I just can't say enough for the folks responsible for having a vision and sticking with it and being endurance and perseverance in making things happen. So IMAX Theater is unbelievably nice, and I think it's going to be a catalyst for the Fort Henry Mall. I know many people are talking about the mall in an excited way now, so we want to continue that momentum. But thank you.
you said, great things are happening in Kingsport, from IMAX to FunFest to all the fun things that are in the, on the horizon. Also, the lamp lights, there's gonna be one more. The voice, the pen, and the sword, they're gonna film it on this Friday or Saturday? Saturday night. So if you haven't seen it, you have one more opportunity to go see it. And it truly is worth seeing. There's, just enjoy what's happening around in our city and
Great things, IMAX, Fun Fest, city people for doing Fun Fest, I'm all good.
Thank you. Vice Mayor?
We had a great tour yesterday, the Justice Center, the New Justice Center, and it, I mean, it's just a really good tour. It's a wonderful expansion, and which includes technology and safety. And we got rocks, and we didn't have to use them tonight, and I'm very proud of that. So, so thank you very much.
I want to extend a shout out tonight to our candidates who are running for public office. Calvin Clifton, Byers, and Tim Sanders. Thank you for your service. Remember, for all of you, that the election is upon us. We're in early voting season now, and encourage you, if you haven't voted, get out there and vote. If you don't, then on August 6th is your last chance. So thank you for that, and I thank you all for your
Can I
patience.
say one more thing in honor of T.O.? Before we meet again, you can go get your Dobbins Bennett season football tickets.
Okay.
So it's that time I got my letter, and it's always, I always think of T.O. Tommy, when I see the letter come through the mail.
He'd be
So
proud.
He'd be proud. So just, it's time to go look at get season tickets.
Now you kept me forgetting what I was going to say.
See, I'm
No,
sorry.
I haven't.
Now, you were about ready to hit that gavel.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Come on, hit it.
I want to thank you all for your patience tonight as we went through the public hearing. I thought it went very well. And we had some great comments from the audience. And I'm sorry they're not here to thank them for their patience and being here tonight. And I thank you, the staff back in the back, for your steadfastness and being with us. And with that, this meeting is adjourned.
There's the gavel.
There it is.
Oh, boy.